The GOP frontrunner for the 2024 presidential nomination is back on the campaign trail in Nevada this weekend and once again whipping his rabid MAGA base into a frenzy. But these campaign rally stages may be the only stages for the twice impeached, twice indicted one-term ex-president for the next few weeks. It's still up in the air if Trump will go head-to-head with his opponent closest in the polls, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, at the first 2024 RNC presidential primary debate in Milwaukee on the date of August 23rd. Now, Trump may not even need to debate the growing field of Republican presidential hopefuls. His lead in polls is growing while DeSantis' numbers are plummeting. Inexplicably, these latest poll numbers are after Trump's second criminal indictment. But as we all know, in MAGA world, you gotta throw out all logic.
Every time I get a subpoena, my polls go up, I get more and more subpoenas. Report to a grand jury. It's all bull. Too. It's all stuff.
Joining me now, our Saturday Morning Power political panel, my good friends. Here on set, former Republican Carlos Curbelo, NBC News and MSNBC political analyst, and also joining me remotely, Fernand, where are you? Fernand Amandi, MSNBC political analyst and Democratic pollster. It's because Fernand doesn't want to have to give any more cafecito and share it with Carlos. Is that what it is, Carlos? You scared him off.
He's not here to push me around today. I appreciate that.
Carlos, I'm going to start with you. Completely disregarding the 14th Amendment. You got Trump, you got DeSantis, and now you have Vivek, and I want to get his name right because I don't want to be rude, Ramaswamy, now saying, to hell with birthright citizenship. We're just not going to let that happen anymore. But here's the hypocrisy. Vivek Ramaswamy's parents were immigrants. He's the beneficiary of it. So I have to ask, is it citizenship for me, but not for thee anymore?
Yeah, it's a totally incoherent and unconstitutional proposal, and this dates back to 2018. And by the way, there's all these political lessons that Republicans refuse to learn. Ahead of the 2018 election, Donald Trump thought it would be a good idea to put this out there to get his base riled up. What happened? Republicans got swamped in the House, and they lost around 40 seats to Democrats that year, in part because in suburban areas and swing districts and swing states, this kind of policy, this kind of rhetoric where all of a sudden, if someone's born in the United States, we're not going to guarantee citizenship, that just doesn't resonate. So might work for a Republican primary, might get you some attention, but in the long run, it's going to cost you.
You know, Fernand, earlier this week, Casey DeSantis doing a flying solo run, trying to push and promote the Moms for DeSantis and parents' rights. But is this move actually going to be able to help Ron DeSantis, whose numbers are really bad, even with women voters?
Katie, I don't think so. You asked me earlier where I was. I'm actually in Ron DeSantis' hometown of Jacksonville. But truth be told, Katie, you wouldn't know it looking and driving around. This is Trump country. I don't see any signs of the DeSantis presidential campaign in what you would think would be his most ardent area of support. Everywhere, however, you see Trump 2024 signs, Trump 2024 flags, and I think it's a microcosm of what the polls have now made certain. Katie, you go back a year ago, Donald Trump had a 34-point lead over DeSantis. 1 year later, and you talked about it, all of the indictments, losing a sexual assault suit, Trump is still at a 32-point lead. Historically, looking at these numbers, it tells me as a researcher, going back 50 years in primaries, I think this may be over, and Casey DeSantis and Ron DeSantis may be the first ones to understand that reality because the numbers aren't changing.
You know, Carlos DeSantis has an ad out right now. He's getting slammed even within his own party. It calls out Donald Trump for his support for the LGBTQ plus community. You know, DeSantis saying, I'm going to double down. I'm going to say it's fair game to be able to go after Donald Trump. But consider the following. Is DeSantis's hate and extremism actually too toxic even for a general?
Well, Katie, look, running to the right of Donald Trump hasn't worked. Running beneath Donald Trump, in this case, by, kind of bashing Trump for some comments he's made favorable to the LGBT community, saying that they should be treated equally, pretty basic stuff. That's not going to work either. You can't out-Trump Donald Trump. If Ron DeSantis wants to have a shot, and look, this isn't over. I don't agree with Fernand. I mean, it's not early, but it's also, we're not voting tomorrow. If Ron DeSantis and others want to have the chance at defeating Donald Trump, they have to stop imitating him. They actually have to distinguish themselves from him. They have to be honest with voters and say, look at what the MAGA movement has done to the Republican Party. They have lost 3 general elections in a row. Look at what it's done to the country, right? A lot of damage. That's the message that could resonate at some point, but imitating Donald Trump, following him, trying to go beneath Donald Trump or to the right of Donald Trump, that's just not going to work. The base isn't going to believe that. Numbers are there to prove it.